about the roots. Did you get that book? You've got that book. You might want to read it. Bill Clinton's ancestry. Well, Clinton's ancestry can be traced back on his mother's side, the King Henry III, who ruled England from 1227 to 1272. He's also related to Presidents William Henry Harrison and Benjamin Harrison. He's directly descended from King Robert I of France. So says Merck's Peerage from London. They are a genealogical society who charts the family trees of all European royalty, the family of the Holy Grail. Now, I talked to a man on the telephone who was out at the Booksellers Convention, Christian Booksellers Convention in California last June, July, and he saw our magazine with the picture of Nero on the front. And so he shared with our staff member there a little bit, Bob Ulrich, about what he knew about Bill Clinton. And he told a strange story, so I called him on the telephone, got a hold of him, and talked to him for some time at length about his story. But he told me what I'm about to tell you cannot be documented. It's not published in any historical accounts. He said that he was a Rothschild, converted to Christ, now minister. But he grew up with Bill Clinton and knew him. Here's what he said. He said, as a child, Bill Clinton attended many of the Rothschild family functions as a boy. That he wore a skull cap and rabbis kissed his hand. There came a day when he was designated, when little boy Clinton was designated as the Civilian Equitage, the royal boy chosen in a ceremony. And I was told by this descendant of Mayor Amschel Bauer Rothschild that Bill Clinton was due to inherit the family fortune. A Rothschild source said he's heir to the Bank of England. Edmund D. Rothschild plans to leave him the family fortune. He also told me that Captain William Bligh, born in 1754, died in 1817, was the great whatever of William Bligh III, father of Bill Clinton, who was killed, by the way, in a car accident 3 months before Clinton's birth, and that this man, Captain Bligh, was a member of the Bauer Rothschild family lineage. Sailed around the world with Captain James Cook. That's not Kirk, but Cook. From 1772 to 1775. And you remember the mutiny on the Bounty? Well, after the mutiny, he was cast adrift in a small boat with 18 of his crew members. In 1789, they drifted 3,600 miles in the South Pacific and survived. In 1806, Captain Bligh became the British colonial governor of New South Wales, Australia. Progenitor of William Blythe, the Jefferson comes from Thomas Jefferson. According to the story of this man, claiming to be the grandson of Edmund D. Rothschild, Mayor Amschel Bauer Rothschild lived in this house. According to him, in 1772, Mayor Amschel Bauer changed his name to Rothschild because of the red shield on the front door of his business. Rothschild means red shield in German. Had a heavenly visitation. An angelic creature visited him and told Mayor Amschel Bauer that Jesus was not the Messiah, but that the family from which he descended would produce the Messiah near the end of the 20th century. And so the Rothschilds have been looking for this Messiah ever since. Mayor Amschel Rothschild, born in 1744, died in 1812, had 5 sons, legitimate sons. He sent them to 5 European cities to establish banks. Amschel stayed in Frankfurt, Salman went to Vienna, Nathan to London, Carl to Naples, James to Paris, and one of Rothschild's brothers, I think there were 9 or 10 in the family. One of Rothschild's brothers, named Marcus, came to America and took the name Rockefeller. Now, Heinz Schaus writes, this is 1938 when Heinz Schaus first publishes his work, The Jewish Festivals. In chapter 11, the chapter on the fast of Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, the dark time. On page 103, on the 9th of Av, the children in the yeshivas, the Hebrew schools, are taught certain stories. They're told about the wicked Nebuchadnezzar who destroyed the temple, and they're told about the wicked Titus who destroyed the other temple, and they're told about the wonderful Nero, who was a fine and gentle individual who abandoned his army near Jerusalem, escaped, and became a convert to Judaism. Not only that, they say, but the great teacher, Rabbi Meir, was a descendant of his. You mean Nero only faked his death, converted to Judaism, and produced the 13th century's greatest rabbi, Rabbi Meir of Rothenburg, Germany? So I called my friend, and by the way, his name must remain anonymous, you understand, claiming to be a descendant of the Rothschild dynasty. I asked him, I said, who's Rabbi Meir? He said, I'm not sure, I'll check it out. You see, he has access to things that are not punished. He has access to the true history of the Rothschild family tree. And so he called me back in a few days and said, Rabbi Meir of Germany, who died in 1293, victim of the German persecution of moneylenders, is the greatest rabbi of the 13th century. He was called the Light of the Exile. His son Anshel Meir, also spelled N-E-Y-E-R, N-A-Y-O-R, disappeared at age 17 and reappeared at age 30 as a very wealthy moneylender. Now, Anshel Meir had two sons, one named Anshel, another named Edmund, and these names sort of floated down through the family history. In 1594, an Anshel Meir, offspring of Rabbi Meir, the Light of the Exile, changed or took on the name of Bauer. So, it's very possible we have a descendant of Nero who controls the international banking cartel of all the central banks of all the countries in the world. Now, a magazine came out this month in January called Vanity Fair. And in this magazine, Vanity Fair, is a story on the Rothschilds, and especially the mysterious death of Anshel last July the 8th in Paris. And I read here, with the mysterious suicide of Anshel Rothschild in his marble bathroom at Paris's Bristol Hotel last summer, Europe's most prominent family lost their best hope of a new generation. Surveying the remaining Rothschild powers from the flamboyant Jacob to the playboy Ely to the remote Evelyn, Sadie Bedell Smith discovers the dynasty in search of a leader. Now, I want to read you how Anshel died. Hanging himself could not have been easy for a man 6'1". The top of the towel rail was only 5 feet from the floor. Although it was possible to kneel on the marble surface enclosing the bathtub and then drop nearly 2 feet to the floor. Did Anshel commit suicide? Or was somebody trying to get rid of the competition? For Anshel was due to inherit the Rothschild power. William Jefferson Clinton's name in Hebrew adds up to 666. William, with the Vav, Aleph, Yod, Lamet, Yod, Mem, for a total of 97. Jefferson